Hello everyone and welcome to Shelby This Week. Top news stories, Coney Island update, a family member sentenced, and fire department open house. All this plus much more, but first back to that top news story. We have an update on that Coney Island attempted robbery that happened in Shelby Township. Nicholas Kerner, age 23 from Almont, entered National Coney Island on 23 and Shaner on September 13th, attempting to rob the restaurant, but that's not what happened. According to Shelby police, local patrons of the restaurant saw what was happening, forced Kerner down, and held him on the ground as they called police. Kerner was arrested and was recently back in court. He's been charged with armed robbery, which is a felony. Kerner's bond is set at $150,000. He's retained a lawyer and will be back in court next month. Another family member was given jail time after Shelby police put a stop to their business that was selling synthetic marijuana. David Dabish, age 42, was sentenced to 2 months in jail and 18 months probation. This sentence comes from a major drug bust that happened on Halloween back in 2012. Shelby police searched a gas station and Woodstock tobacco store on suspicion of selling K2 spice. Those two stores are located on Van Dyke, north of 21 Mile. 6 Dabish family members were charged. Most of those cases were resolved a year ago. The mother is charged with delivery or manufacturing of a controlled substance and maintaining a drug house. And one brother served 2 years in prison after pleading no contest to the same charges, along with possession of less than 25 grams of a controlled substance. A big bang led people to a large fire this past weekend. It happened around 5 in the evening on Saturday, September 26. The homeowners were shopping when a fire blazed through their house on East Pearson Street near 26 in Van Dyke. 2 cars were damaged and the family dog went missing.
No injuries. That's the big key to this. We responded for a reported house explosion. Upon arrival, we had a fully engulfed garage through the roof of the garage. Nobody was home at the time of the fire. Our crews did an exterior attack until we were sure the roof wasn't going to come down any. Upon discovering that the roof wasn't going to come down, we made an interior attack, stopped the extension of the fire in the attic, and that's where we're at. No other homes are affected. A neighbor was one of the people that did call us to tell us there was an explosion. We're not sure where it started yet, but that's where most of the fire was when we got here. It was through the roof above the garage.
I just rode my bike and just saw this house just up in flames, so I just hope everybody got out safe and everyone's just safe and sound, and just hope everyone's okay. Just go ahead and just make sure everything's okay at your house, there's no gas leaks or no anything flammable around, anything electrical.
Consumers Energy and DTE were on scene. No other homes were impacted from the fire. We have an update on the family pet. A Shih Tzu dog died in the blaze. The investigation is still ongoing. Fire officials say the fire may have started in the garage. Speaking of Shelby Township Fire Department, these lifesavers are hosting an open house for the public. This free event brings an opportunity for our heroes to open their fire station and show the life-saving skills they offer. There will be mock fire drills. Firefighters will use the jaws of life on a mock car accident. Kids can try out fire hoses. Sparky the dog will also be there. This event will be on Saturday, October 10th from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. at Station 1 on 23 Mile Road. Another perk, there will be free food and candy, so don't forget to check out that open house. A bad car crash happened at the intersection of 25 and Van Dyke recently. 2 cars were involved in the collision. It happened on September 28th, a little before 12 noon. A minivan and a black crossover SUV crashed what looks like was head-on. Alcohol does not seem to be a factor, but the accident may have been caused by distracted driving. A fatal crash back in May is bringing its only 2 survivors back to court. Joseph Nara was in district court with his attorney recently, this time regarding medical records. This all stems from a car crash that happened in early May at Stony Creek. 5 teens were in a Jaguar. when the speeding car crashed, killing 3 young men. The other 2, 18-year-old Joseph Nara and Greg Bobchick of Shelby Township, survived. Here's what Nara's attorney is requesting. Since Nara's mother gave permission to have access to Joseph's medical records around the time of the accident because he was only 17, a minor. Well, now he's 18, and his lawyer says they now need to suppress those medical records. Also, Washington Township City Attorney charged Nara with a minor in possession of alcohol, but again, Nara's lawyer filed a motion to dismiss that case as well. His attorney, Neil Rockind, states he feels that Nara recovering from extensive injuries and watching his friends die was punishment enough. They'll be back in court mid-October for those cases. Coming up, reports from the jail and Shelby's property tax. Stay tuned.
Nana, is everything okay in there?
Just a minute, Grandma.
Media attention's been drawn to an incident that happened in the Macomb County Jail. A family has lost a loved one after 32-year-old David Stojewski from Roseville died minutes after being transported from the jail back in 2014. Stojewski's family filed a lawsuit, and their lawyer stated if Macomb doesn't come up with $25 to $30 million, this case will become a media spectacle. The county denied the $25 million agreement, and now, with 240 hours of video footage of David Stojewski in his jail cell, Macomb County Executive Mark Hackle focused on one part in particular of that videotape.
But the one that I got to tell you that was most compelling to me when I watched that video, that told me that these corrections officers and the people in that facility do care about what's going on with those inmates, was the last 30 seconds of that video. The last 30 seconds of this individual's life. The correctional officer called for the medical support. The medical staff, however they decided to take a look at or wanted to respond to it, responded to it. But the correctional officer still had compassion enough and care enough to stare at that video monitor and watch that individual. And as he watched that individual, what he saw was something had stopped. His chest stopped rising. And within 30 seconds, time it on a stopwatch, that officer was in that cell providing CPR to that particular individual. That is compelling, folks, if you think about it. And why do I say that? You can't get that kind of a response from an EMS, from a fire department or police department at your own home or even in this building right now if somebody was to have a heart attack. You couldn't get somebody here pumping on your chest in 30 seconds. And I dare say that even some of our medical facilities, hospitals, you're probably going to have a hard time if you start to code in one of their facilities, having somebody there in 30 seconds pumping on your chest. So this has been disturbing at many levels. And why do I say that? Because of the public concern and people thinking something's wrong within the confines of that jail. It is upsetting because, you know what? I've worked there for 30 years. I've seen how the officers interact. I understand what they do and the difficulties of some of the people that are coming our way with mental health and substance abuse problems. And for somebody to portray that these officers did something wrong and not allow the system of law that we have here in this country, that I've understood for 30 years and still for 5 years as a student of criminal justice. The court of law is where the facts are supposed to be put in and presented so that people have a chance to defend themselves. The corrections officers, Tony, myself, we were told, you know what, you can't really defend yourself when there's a lawsuit present. And this attorney knew that. This attorney knew that because he tried to strong-arm the county from day one in telling that if you don't come up with 25 to 30 million, if you're not willing to talk high numbers like that, this is going to be a media spectacle. We're going to do something about that. So you better come to the table. When the county rebuffed that request, obviously he made good on his promise. And the timing of it couldn't have been better, by the way. The timing of it happened to be with some court hearings that were taking place. That I know about through talking to our corporation counsel. But if anybody is here today to try to expect us to answer in specifics about each and every detail during the 240 hours of video, that's not happening. The court of law is where that's supposed to happen. If anybody's here to ask me, well, what about the medical professionals? Do you think they did something wrong? I'm not a doctor, and far be it for any one of us here in this room to sit there and question what the medical staff did in a particular case dealing with a particular inmate in that facility. The proper setting for that is in a court of law, not in the court of public opinion.
We have nothing to hide. We did an internal investigation. So, again, I was unable to say anything, and I welcome the FBI. My thing was to encourage the FBI.
So do you think they're investigating without knowing the true facts already, or?
I can't comment on the FBI. You would have to contact them. They inquired, they had asked, I offered, I encouraged, I welcomed the doors. Open up, come on in, take a look at the investigation and see if we did anything wrong. Anything further, you'd have to contact the FBI on that.
Stojewski was placed in jail after he couldn't pay a $700 ticket. Officials cannot actually talk about the case right now because of litigation, but they say facts will come out in court. Correction officers provide safety for 19,000 inmates that come through those jail doors yearly. On September 15th, the Board of Trustees approved a proposal to keep the tax millage rate the same at 9.2999 mils for the 10th straight year. The only changes being made is an increase in allocations to the police fund. Of the 9.29, 4.0424 will go to police, 3.2575 will go to fire, and 1 mil will be set for both the police and fire pension and the general fund. Shelby currently has the second lowest millage rate in Macomb County when compared to the 10 other municipalities that also have full-time police and fire services. There's a new furry addition to Shelby Police. A 15-month-old black German Shepherd is the new canine for the township. His name is Morpheus. He comes from the Czech Republic, and this month, Patrol Officer Joseph Wojcik will head to Pennsylvania for training with Morpheus. Wojcik has been with Shelby Police for 15 years, and Morpheus will live with him, his family, which includes 2 other dogs. Recently, the retirement of Henry, the police department's previous canine, opened up a spot for a new canine position. Wojcik and Morpheus will be working on narcotics investigations and any needs from the local U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration. Morpheus actually doesn't know English commands, so he'll be taught commands in Dutch. The race for the next president is in full swing, and locally, Michigan politicians are voicing their endorsements right here at Shelby TV.
And the person who I believe meets that criteria also just happens to be a woman. And that woman is Carly Fiorina. Carly is a bold and dynamic conservative leader, and today I am proud to fully endorse her candidacy to be the next president of the United States.
Our next president must be able to communicate clear, conservative solutions to the American people and possess the leadership skills needed to enact them into policy. I believe we've seen just a leader seeking our nomination, from outside of government with real-world experience that is needed to move America in the right direction. I believe Carly Fiorina is that leader, and I'm proud to support her candidacy to be the next president of the United States.
That presidential race has quite the list of frontrunners, both on Republican and Democrat sides. President Barack Obama is term limited. Election for the 45th president will be on November 8th, 2016. Speaking of presidents, every now and then here at Shelby TV, we have the chance to interview someone of a higher official status. And with that higher status comes higher security. Charlie Cadato explains.
When Pope Francis visited the U.S. last week, security was in full force. U.S. Secret Service and Vatican security spent months preparing for the historic visit to protect one of the world's most familiar faces. But for a pope who likes to walk among crowds and shake hands with people, security leaders have come to expect last-minute surprises. As with protecting any major leader, security can be a challenging job. It's also perhaps one of the most important. When President Obama visited Macomb Community College a few weeks ago, Secret Service officials were a few steps ahead of him. Officials prepare far in advance to stop any threat before it could even happen. Using the most advanced security tools, Secret Service operations deploy agents from across the country. Their sole mission, to protect President Obama on his trip to Michigan.
This is our second visit by the president, and again, we're honored to have him return.
This isn't anything new for Secret Service officials. It's been their daily routine for years. Every guest is sweeped in advance, ruling out any threat, and double-checking bags, cameras, cell phones, and accessories. Same for reporters. Cameras are fully sweeped ahead of the president's arrival, and pre-background checks are done far in advance. As the president lands, his motorcade awaits at Selfridge Air National Guard Base. At this moment, the president enters the official presidential state car, nicknamed the Beast, one of the most advanced vehicles in the world. Military-grade armor, advanced communication systems, and an experienced chauffeur trained by the Secret Service. This car has it all. By the time the president arrives at Macomb Community College, the security work has only just begun. The president likes to greet supporters after the event. Historically, security officials say this is one of the most challenging parts of their job because surprises can come at any time. Luckily, they usually don't, thanks to a security team that's always a few steps ahead. Back to Selfridge, the president flies back to Washington, and for Secret Service officials, it's another good day. Tomorrow, they'll do it all over again. For Shelby This Week, I'm Charlie Cadotto.
All right, Charlie, that's very interesting security. A federal grant was awarded for defense work in the area. $6 million was gifted by the Department of Defense office. It supports the Advanced Michigan Defense Collaborative, which helps out over 13 counties in southeast Michigan, including Macomb. New projects will be made up along with research and other development for the defense industry. In Macomb County, funding will be helping out robotics, automated systems, and cybersecurity. Over 2/3 of all defense contracts in the state are right here in Macomb County. A huge settlement's been reached between the EPA and Guardian Industries. The U.S. Department of Justice and the Environmental Protection Agency alleged the Auburn Hills business violated the Clean Air Act and released harmful air emissions from its plants in Michigan and 6 other states. The agreement raises concern of large factories polluting air that's harmful to human lungs. The deal? $70 million will be invested by Guardian for controlling emissions, including a facility in Monroe County. Another $300,000 in civil penalties and a $550,000 for funding a project to reduce pollution in the San Joaquin Valley in California. This agreement shows the balance between promoting manufacturing and protecting the clean air. A new name, but in honor of an old memory. The 8th annual event in memory of Tara Grant will have some new changes, but will also bring awareness to domestic violence. The new name is Tara's Walk, a new location, moving from Mount Clemens to Freedom Hill, and new activities. Instead of a timed 5K run, it'll be more of a family event with pumpkin painting, lunch, and an optional 5K walk or run. Turning point in the organization, previously known as the Tara Grant Memorial Walk and Run, started back in 2007. Removing his name was the reason for changing the event name. The name we're referring to is Stephen Grant, who's convicted of second-degree murder for fatally strangling his then-wife, 34-year-old Tara, in February 2007. It happened in their Washington Township home. Grant is serving a 50-year prison term. Tara's Walk will raise money and promote awareness to domestic violence and the start of Domestic Violence Awareness Month. You can register online for the event at the website on your screen. It's time for the Packard Proving Grounds Fall Open House, and you're invited. The free event gives residents the chance to take a look inside this historical spot right here in Shelby Township. On October 18th from 1 till 5 p.m., come by this free event and bring your old car collector out for the Classic Car Show. Food will be served by Niches Meats and Deli, music by Johnny Trudell's band. Don't forget, October 18th, Packard Proving Grounds, open house on Van Dyke near 23 Mile. You might see increased speed limits on freeways in Michigan. Lawmakers are looking at the idea of raising the speed limit to 80 miles per hour on local freeways. Some say higher speeds mean putting lives at risk, but experts point out that raising the speed limit can reduce tailgating, excess passing, and other bad driving behaviors. This is a third time this issue has been talked about by lawmakers. The speed would increase to 80 only on rural segments of freeways. A big investment has been brought to Oakland University. Kresge Foundation, along with OU, put together a $2 million investment fund. The course will teach investment strategies. Students will be making decisions with real money and see how the market reacts. Officials tell us what else this investment will do.
So we've taken $2 million of our $3.5 million endowment and are going to give it to students to help them understand stock selection. What they're going to do is pick a stock portfolio between 10 and 20 stocks that will be comparable to the S&P 500. And so they'll learn how to analyze companies, they'll recommend stock picks, they'll figure out how to put a portfolio together.
It's really just an interesting learning experience. It's really great that the OU Kresge Foundation lets us get some hands-on experience with stock trading and with the market. It's really something that a lot of schools don't offer, so I was really interested in trying that out.
Very grateful for the Kresge Foundation because it shows where I think Oakland University really is in the sweet spot. That is working with our community and our students to make our students much better educated and improve their ability to function in the real world.
An academic standpoint is great, but nothing really hones someone's ability without actually doing it in real life. Students will take this opportunity and apply it to a future career. Utica Community Schools and the College Board are teaming up to provide parents tools for students to make the transition into the SAT this spring. On Thursday, October 8th, a special presentation will be given at 6:30 at Henry Ford II High School, providing an overview of the test and what parents should know. The workshop's intended for parents of high school juniors who will be the first to take the SAT in the spring, but all interested families are invited to attend the free workshop. UCS will be one of the first communities in Michigan to allow students and families access to Naviance, a college and career planning tool. The program offers students free prep classes and focus on college and career processes. For more information, go to the website on your screen. After 15 years, it's back. The Eisenhower Homecoming Parade made its debut recently. The Ike Eagles Band started off the parade on a lovely Friday afternoon, kicking off homecoming weekend. Residents and students joined together on 25 Mile, starting at Shelby Road, and marched proudly down the street, passing out candy to onlookers. The Shelby Police and Fire Departments joined in on the parade, which ended at Ike High School. This is hopefully the first of many years Eisenhower has their homecoming parade back for a traditional event. In this week's job hunt, PCMI Manufacturing is looking for an operations associate to help maintain paperwork, inspect supplies, facility organization, and process management. They're looking for an individual with experience with micrometers and gauges, as well as quality control. The next job, Lifetime Fitness is hiring a LifeSpa service coordinator and receptionist. Lifetime needs a motivated individual to provide superior customer service to the guests of LifeSpa. Candidates should have 1 to 2 years of customer service experience in a salon or retail industry and have a passion for living a healthy life. The next job, Child Time Learning Centers is hiring an assistant teacher. They're looking for an individual who is caring and compassionate, can ensure daily care of every child, will help maintain a fun and interactive classroom, and who doesn't mind hugs and praises from students and parents. Those are this week's Job Hunt. Go to shelbytv.org for more information on those jobs. Up next, a state representative for the day from Shelby Township. We'll explain after the break.
Go ahead. Station 1 call, retone that please. 10-4. Captain 4 will be going to that location also.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.
State Representative Pete Lucido had a very special guest when Lily Urban of Shelby Township joined the lawmakers as representative for a day. Lily was selected as the winner of Representative Lucido's summer reading contest earlier this year after taking an oath and being sworn in as junior representative. Lily toured the Capitol with her parents. Lucido says he plans to host a similar reading contest next summer. That looks like a lot of fun. And that's Shelby This Week. You can watch us online all the time at shelbytv.org. And don't forget to check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/ShelbyTWPTV. Thanks for watching.